All right, folks, good morning. It is 10 a.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Let's go ahead and get airborne with our primary live trade brief. We had a great night last night. We knocked out our welcome aboard briefing. If you didn't get a chance to attend, don't worry about it. We're going to, I'll get you access to the replay here shortly. In my Gumby suit today, because after we get done our live trade brief, I'm going to go flying this afternoon and getting ready for my FAA check ride. So last night, we got our welcome aboard brief. This morning, we're knocking out our primary live trade brief. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m. is when we do this. So if you're coming to check out what we do here at Top Gun Options, you're in a real primary live trade brief with hundreds of other current TGO members. That's what we do here. We just open up the doors, come on in. I'm going to conduct this like a normal live trade brief, and you all get to hang out and watch. Tomorrow afternoon, we do AR, accelerated retirement. A little bit more conservative portfolio, should be longer dated trades. But in the past year with the COVID crash and rebound, we were doing some pretty damn good tactical trading in AR. As a matter of fact, that was the best performing portfolio last year for me. It was 906, almost $1 million. If you allow me to round up, it was like 960, 970 for the year. So tomorrow afternoon, I will brief you at noon on our full throttle training program and open up 50 slots. We don't take 51, we don't take 100, we take 50, maybe once a quarter, depending on how it's looking, because we don't pack people in here. We have a nice, tight, close-knit squadron, as you can see. If you logged in early, usually I open up the room about 30 minutes early, because a lot of folks say, hey, what are you doing? How do you prepare for trading, or what are you doing beforehand? So if you come in early and you see stuff moving around on the screen, it's because I'm just being nice and opened up and showing you what I'm doing. This watch right here is set to the United States Naval Clock at the observatory, so I start briefings to the second. So again, if you're not seeing, if you're seeing stuff moving around and hey, no volume, it's because there is no volume. We don't start until we start. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to give you a sample of what the full throttle training looks like when you become a member. The 8 sessions that you get, which are just, they're a lot of fun. I mean, we do them for 4 weeks on a Tuesday and Thursday night, usually from 7 to 8, 8:30, however long we go. I dig into every tactic that I employ, every options tactic, and we'll have a glass of wine and sit here, and nobody leaves with a question mark over their helmet or a clue bird on their shoulder. There goes the S&P 500. The battle for 4150 continues. I just posted that over in one of our investment clubs. We'll see if we bounce off of 4150. Quick administrative items. You're in GoToWebinar. There's a little camera feature. You can click on that camera to take a picture of the screen if you want to take a picture of the screen. Chat. I see your chat, so if you have a question, go ahead and ask me. If it's pretty cool and big and awesome, I'll answer right there. If not, I'll probably save it to the end. Make sure you got something to take notes with. Replay page is right here. So today's replay, last night's replay, is all posted, obviously, on the replay page. There it is, 17 May 2021. We talked last night about why, if you scroll below last night's welcome aboard, we have last February's free training up here, because if you attended last February's free training, I was the only dude who said, eject, get long volatility, buy puts on the S&P 500. Donald Trump's lying to us. The COVID's going to come here and destroy the stock market. That was me. So I'm leaving these up here for the rest of my life as evidence, as proof, because men lie, evidence doesn't. So I keep these up here just as a reminder that we absolutely nailed it. It was, look at this. Warning, the markets are set to implode. As the smart money, quote unquote, Ray Dalio and Jeffrey Gundlach, they sat on TV and said, oh no, buy the dip. All the way down, they said to buy the dip. Wrong. Okay. Last week, we had a great week. Look at the volatility last week. Near-death experience down to the 50-day moving average. Bounce off of it. We had a blast trading here at Top Gun Options. The trades that I covered last week for my members made, it's 163,739. If you'll allow me to round up, that's a round of drinks on me. It's 164,000. There they are, right there, all documented. Good stuff, man. Last year, best trading year of my life. Like I said, I nailed the COVID crash, that initial one to the day, and then Trump, don't believe it, not coming here. Xi's my buddy. It's all good. Why are you even wasting your time on this? To that. So that was January 22nd when I predicted it. And then that's where those February webinars were. We did a free full throttle right there. Hell, I got thank you notes from a lady who I saved her $400,000 in her 401. She didn't become a member, but just based on her free hanging out with us, she avoided that. So I'm really quite proud of what we did last year. Very, very proud. So hang on one second. Let me grab a screenshot of this. Da, 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 da. I'm really excited. I love this time of the year. Once a quarter. Let me grab this real quick. All right, hang on. File save as. Good. Okay, trying to multitask here. So, fantastic. All right, you guys. Yeah, that was the big one. I predicted the big one. Fred Sanford, man, I love that show growing up. So got people to eject out of the market. We literally made millionaires here, 2.1 in a month last year. Just eyes out trading. All right, so let's go ahead and get airborne. Not too much more of this stuff. I'm going to give you an up-to-date intelligence brief this morning. I'm going to train you how to employ options, show you what I'm targeting for max profit, and how you can turn potential panic into profit. As options traders, we actually enjoy panic. We love volatility, right? The old Warren Buffett saying, you want to be absolutely calm and walking into the market as everybody's panicking and freaking out, right? Just stroll on in, eat your popcorn, and step in there. You guys know me by now, Matthew Buckley, call sign Wiz, F-18 guy, Top Gun graduate, adversary pilot, did some time over Iraq. And a couple of people asked me last night, I completely forgot, shameless plug, I did write a book. It's called From Sea Level to Sea Level. We're actually re-releasing that right in front of this book, which is in final editing. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, man. Writing a book sucks. But COVID crash, from panic to profit. So if you're interested in the first book that I wrote, just ask me. It's an awesome book on leadership and a little bit of a play on words. So essentially how I went from the cockpit of an F-18 to essentially the trading pit in Chicago, from the cockpit to the trading pit, essentially helped run a multi-billion-dollar options trading firm just by applying the things I learned as a naval aviator that I thought were magical. Were like breathing, but the business world thought they were magical. If you want an autographed copy of this, don't buy it from Amazon. Buy it from here. You buy it today. I'll go on my way to the airport. I'll drop it in the mail today. So here in the chat box, if you want an autographed copy for you or anybody, I strongly, if you have kids in college or whatever, this is whether it's planning, accountability, the leadership, debriefing, contingency planning, all of those things that I took for granted as a Navy fighter pilot, when I did them in the business world, it was like the second coming. People were like, I can't believe this stuff. I'm like, you don't do this? I mean, the concept of a SPA, a single point of accountability, was like shocking in the business world. I'm like, who's in charge of this project? Well, I do this, and then that person, does. I'm like, stop talking. Who's got 51% of the vote? Who is the commanding officer in charge of this? So I thought it was relatively basic stuff, but as you'll read in the book, I guess common sense ain't so common. So if you want an autographed copy, you can go to here on this page, as well as me doing some keynotes and speaking and stuff like that, because I do that as well. That's me giving. That's John. This dude right here. I gave a keynote in Vegas. Remember those days, like going to Vegas for a big convention? This was a keynote from McKesson, the Fortune 7 company. John Hammergren, that year that I gave that keynote, made $145 million. The guy was the highest paid CEO in the world that year. And he actually, after my keynote, got up on stage. He's like, that's the coolest stuff I've ever heard. And we need to be doing just about everything that this guy's talking about. I appreciate that, Goose. Thank you, man. That's what Goose just said. So yeah, yes, you can buy it on Amazon. It's up to you. But if you want it autograph, I can't. If you buy it from Amazon, it comes from Amazon. If you buy it from me, I got a huge crate of them sitting over there in my office. I'll sign it with a Sharpie and get it in the mail to you today. Guaranteed. Promise you. Okay. That's enough of that stuff. Anything else I got to cover before we get airborne? Oh, real quick, because a couple people asked last night. We now that the other 48 states in this country are out of COVID prison. In Florida, I think for a month people were a little concerned, and then we got over it and went to living our lives. Same thing in Texas. I was in Texas. I was in Dallas for an event, and then Houston, like 6-8 months, didn't see a mask in sight. America. I mean, you know, my rights don't end where people's feelings begin. If you're scared, hide under your bed and stay at home. Don't. My body, my choice, right? But anyway, live events now that we're out of COVID prison, or some of you guys are. Write this one down in San Antonio on September 10th and 11th. Actually, let me put a 9th in there because technically the event is for the Warrior Health Foundation. So the Warrior Health Foundation is a fantastic organization who works with operators who have TBI and what we call operator syndrome, traumatic brain injury, stress, PTSD, anxiety. And I'm also working with a fantastic charity called Vets Exploring Treatments Solutions. Both of these foundations, the Top Gun Fighter Foundation has given a significant amount of money to. I was dealing with bad guys at 30,000 feet. These guys were dealing with bad guys at 3 feet, at 3 inches, and they're suffering. One veteran per hour kills themselves in the United States of America, and it's a national disgrace. It's awful. So anyway, back to the event. Write this down because September 10th and 11th, the Warrior Health Foundation is having an event in San Antonio. And these events have been great. That's the event I went to in Dallas recently and down in Houston. The night on a Thursday night, I think it is, we do a gala. I got my cowboy hat on and my shit kickers on, and you get to meet and hang out with some pretty incredible people. The dude that shot bin Laden, the dude that pulled Saddam out of the hole. I am humbled to even be in the room with these guys. So it's a charity event, but what we'll do is, why don't we get in the day before? Oh, and after the gala, the next day we go shooting, man. We go out on the course and we do a clay course, and you get an operator on your to shoot with you on your team. I think it's like teams of 4. We're a co-sponsor of the event just because I'm selfish and I like hanging out with these dudes and they're great guys. So why don't we plan on September 9th, like a TGO event? We'll do some live trading. We'll hang out. We'll have some guest speakers. So why don't we kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Why don't we do a TGO event? And then let's just shift. Let's stay a couple days in San Antonio. I'm going to bring my jet over, maybe 2 jets, and maybe some lucky people will get to go flying. I'm definitely going to take some of the veterans, the SEALs flying, because they deserve it. So we'll take them out there. And then you got to write this down. November 19th, I rented the IMAX in Fort Lauderdale, and we're doing the world premiere of Maverick, Top Gun 2. Everybody's got to wear a flight suit to get in. It's a red carpet event. People are already talking. This is going to be a big deal in South Florida. So it's going to be fantastic. So write that down. JG, you'll probably do yours down here in South Florida. I think San Antonio is going to be pretty busy for me, flying a bunch of these Navy SEALs. Oh, thank you, Kristen. That's why Kristen's here. I keep getting it wrong. She said it is November 20th. So write that down. November 20th, be in Fort Lauderdale. So JG, if you come, that'll probably be when you get your ride. Okay. Where do I get a flight suit? Just Google it, Pam. They're on there. And then last night, you guys saw the world premiere of the Top Gun Fighter Foundation paint job. The paint job on the jet that I have is nice. It's kind of a racing paint job. No thanks. So there's Top Gun Fighter Foundation 1. And then if we buy the other one that's over in Houston, it'll be Foundation 2. So we got Foundation 1 and Foundation 2. So good stuff. All right. That was good. 15 minutes administrative items. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, you can, well, go to topgunfighterfoundation.org and you can learn more about the charity. I just wanted to mention the events in passing so you can get them on your calendar. We have a good time, man, before we got thrown in COVID prison. And if you're ever in South Florida, man, I'm buying you dinner. Goose, one of our former Air Force guys, S-16 guy, 500-pound head. He was at the Panthers game with me the other night. Epic game. We have another. Scott's coming tonight. Scott's a commercial realtor down in Miami. So Scott's coming to the Panthers game tonight. If you're in South Florida and you're a TGO member, have to join. We have a suite for the next 3 years, man. And the Panthers are going to the Cup, even though they lost their first game against Lightning. All right, here we go. Martin, last night's replay is right here. Look in the chat box for the link. It's easy to remember where all the replays are. go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. That stands for full throttle replay. Look over in your control panel in the chat box. All right, that's enough. We have to get airborne. Let's get going here. Yeah, this was in the journal last week. Look at this, man. Florida is the hottest place in hockey, not because of the weather. This is the first time in the history of the Panthers and Lightning franchise that we've played each other in the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to tonight. It was a hell of a game the other night. Here we go. All right. So our methodology here at Top Gun Options is SOT. I'm going to give a quick strategic brief, what's going on around the globe. Then we're going to peel back the onion, go one layer deeper to the operational level, what's going on here in America. And then we get tactical and we trade and look at trades. Let me pull up last week's primary live trade brief to see if we have to debrief anything from that. Oilers. The Oilers still have a team. I didn't even know, is that a farm team? I grew up in Philadelphia and Jersey, folks. So I'm a Flyers fan, unfortunately. Well, no, I'm a Panthers fan, but I was obviously growing up. I was a Philadelphia Flyers fan. All right, so last week, we'll talk about last week. So here's what the member page looks like. I went underneath member content. I went over to the primary live trade briefs. Here's last week's brief. You just click on it. There's the replay right there. We talked about Amazon and Mara, which we're going to talk about today. But look at what I said last week. Janet spooks the market. I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what she did last week and why she's more or less a coward. And I mean that. All right. So let's go around the globe. China. It sucks to do this, but you have to do this. The Global Times should be something that you read. You need to read the Wall Street Journal cover to cover every day. Period. That's the paper of record, but you also got to kind of take a drive through the Global Times. It's almost like Mad Magazine or The Onion. This isn't a spoof. This is the Communist Chinese people's mouthpiece, essentially. And it's why? Because you need to know what the enemy's thinking. China's our enemy. Folks, we're at war with China. You just don't know it, or maybe you do. They're hacked into everything. They steal it. There's our submarine technology. They have professors, People's Liberation Army officers who are professors at Harvard, who's tried to leave the country with 20 vials taped to his leg of biological crap. Google all this stuff. It's funny because a lot of people at Top Gun Options say that they don't watch the news anymore. They get the news here because this is what I do. Well, last night, my network, my mastermind group calls that I'm on, I do the intelligence gathering, folks, but we're at war with China, period. They're, like I said, they're hacked into everything. They want to destabilize us. Did everybody, if this was, what's his name? Who was the old Secretary of State? I love that guy. He's probably going to run for president. Just went out of my head. What happened about a month or two ago? The Chinese foreign minister, or whatever his rank was, flew to Alaska, U.S. soil. He sat in Alaska, and after Tony Blinken, our new Secretary of State, tried to have an opening statement, the guy's like, we don't want to hear a word from you. You can't preach to us at all about human rights. You're murdering African Americans every day in the street of your country. The dude went full offensive. The Chinese foreign dude sat on U.S. soil and lectured the United States about how awful we are. He used the Democrats' own talking points for the past 4 years. You're a racist country. You're awful. Your police kill. It was the biggest embarrassment I can remember, as opposed to Barack Hussein Obama bowing to a Saudi king and doing a world apology tour. It was awful. Why am I ranting about this? Because they're fomenting dissent, folks. Most of the arguments you see online on Facebook or Twitter are Chinese bots. The People's Liberation Army has its own cyber warfare thing. One of our 500-pound heads in one of our investment clubs, Great American Punch, he's all over this stuff, man. It's essentially fifth-generation warfare. The Communist Chinese Party is at war with Pompeo. Thank you. Is at war. So, but I thought this was interesting. I'm not at all excited. China's digital yuan is turning into a giant flop. Why do I brief this? Because, Ant Group and Tencent are mobile payment platforms, and the Chinese people kind of like it. They're going to disappear. Everybody remember what happened to Jack Ma a couple months ago? The guy's one of the only couple billionaires in the world, and he more or less has disappeared. Alibaba has been more or less taken over by the Chinese government. In the blink of an eye, if they can make it, he essentially has disappeared. I think he's no kidding alive, but has anybody seen Jack Ma lately? The guy used to be all over the place, CNBC, conferences, not a peep. If the Chinese Communist Party can make Jack Ma and his company become more or less owned by the government and him more or less kind of sit at home, what about the Chinese people? I'm ranting about this because they're trying to destroy the U.S. dollar. If you don't, right around when Biden got elected or didn't, what happened? China, Xi Jinping and Putin met, and they kind of formed what? A new alliance. So we're getting attacked over here by Russia, who are hacking in and destroying energy pipelines, and we're getting attacked on the left. I'm briefing this stuff, folks, because you can. Irina, can you please teach options? So Irina, clearly you won't be having a good time here at Top Gun Options. You clearly didn't attend the welcome aboard brief last night. So let me share this is what I see in my chat box, usually right around this time. Irina, you cannot trade options if you do not know what's going on. If you do not know what's going on around the world, in the United States, how can you trade tactically? I probably wouldn't waste any more of your time. You can go ahead and head out. Okay, so we have got to keep an eye on China. Now, how about over in the Middle East? Gaza deaths mount as Israel says Hamas leaders are its targets, right? So, yeah, exactly, Janice. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, back to China real quick. They control a third of the world's precious metals. What goes into this thing, folks? In the blink of an eye, Apple, they even mentioned Apple at the height of the trade war, didn't they? China said, if this trade war keeps going on, we're going to throw Apple out of the country. Do you remember that, what's his name? Tim Cook went to the White House to grovel in front of Donald Trump, like, hey, please kind of cool it. We're getting destroyed. Everybody remember this? You have to keep this stuff in mind, because people who came to this brief like, hey, where are all the trades? Those are the people who get wiped out, because in the blink of an eye, in a breaking news story, the market can implode and volatility explode. You have got to have situational awareness with what's going on around the globe, right? So this is getting ugly. It's really not impacting the markets too much, but it sucks. Remember what happened in 2014, the last time Israel more or less went to war in Gaza, what happened under Obama? The market imploded. Okay, so for all the people like, hey, where's all the trades? If this gets worse, guys, it might impact the market. This market right here, folks, is on thin air. Excuse me. It is very hypoxic up here. We could have one major incident internationally, and you're looking at something like that. I guarantee you. I've seen it. Right. This is why we brief SOT, strategic, operational, tactical. Exactly, Kathy. Not to mention that China makes the majority of U.S. antibiotics. Isn't that creepy? All right, so now let's get operational. There's a lot more going on around the world that we can brief, but that's kind of the closest things on my radar. Potential war in the Middle East and China poking around and still poking around. So Janet Yellen last week, 2 weeks ago, actually told the truth. What happened last week, or whenever it was, a week and a half ago? Janet Yellen told the truth. At a conference, she said the Fed's going to have to raise interest rates eventually because they're going to have to. Inflation. What happened? The market went full freak mode. Then what happened? Her phone rang from the White House, most likely Valerie Jarrett or Susan Rice, who are running the country, and said, yeah, no, don't say that. She corrected herself later in the day and said what? Yeah, I wasn't, yeah, I was a little bit what or whatever. However, she walked back her comments. So, ladies and gentlemen, we should play a drinking game. Every time the White House or Jerome Powell and the Fed or Janet Yellen says the word transitory, we take a drink. As White House downplays transitory inflation, that's the White House, folks. It's the White House, one of the most secure places in the world. Do you think anybody in the White House knows the truth about inflation? They go buy their own groceries. Folks, you guys see it. Gas lines on the East Coast. Gas from $1.50 to $4 under. The price of everything is up. This inflation is not transitory, guys. And here comes the White House, Democrats wanting to spend $6 trillion. The Fed, ladies and gentlemen, has a 0%, I'll say 0.1% probability of a soft landing. Inflation is out of control. Why do you care about this as an investor? Because when interest rates are high, stocks will die. When interest rates are low, stocks will grow. Okay? Interest rates are going to go up. Now, I get that the Fed, I get that Jerome Powell has sat here, stared us in the face repeatedly and said, what? Don't worry about it. First of all, it's transitory. Second of all, I got you. We'll let it run hot for a little bit and then maybe pump the brakes. When you hear the words pump the brakes out of the Fed, you can expect this market to implode. I guarantee you. If you were at the Welcome Aboard brief last night, you heard me make a guarantee as well. In the next year to 2 years, so in 1 to 2 years, we will see a massive minimum of a 20% correction and a recession. Absolutely. Do I look forward to that? As an American, no. As Gordon Gekko, a trader, I hope that happens because markets go down a hell of a lot faster than they go up. What's the Wall Street saying? Markets take the escalator up and the window or the elevator down. Hell, we took the window down last week and made $164,000. So I like down, not as an American, not in my flight suit. In my flight suit, I don't want people to lose money or bad things to happen. As Gordon Gekko, I love when that happens. Fantastic. Because we can pound, as an options trader, we can pound the market into the dirt. Biggest shorting of tech stocks by hedge funds in 5 years. So let's use Amazon as a perfect example. Take a look at Amazon. Amazon, ladies and gentlemen, had a massive, look at this run up into earnings. Now, I'm going to teach you a bunch of different Wall Street isms or whizisms, and they're isms because they are true. Buy the rumor, sell the news. This is why most retail traders hate Wall Street or hate trading, because some of you probably sat there and said, I think Amazon's going to have a blowout quarter. I did. I said they are printing money. 800 last quarter, Amazon made $830,000 a minute. Think about 24/7 for that quarter, a minute. And what did the stock do after they announced the best quarter in their company's history? The stock imploded. Why? Buy the rumor that it's going to have awesome earnings, and then when they have awesome earnings, sell the news. Now what do? Now you get into it, right? This is like clockwork, folks. Every quarter we trade it like this, right? Same thing with the financials. We're going to talk about JP Morgan here in a little bit and how the financials are doing. We're going to get bullish on JP Morgan. Haven't been in the financials in a while. Now's the time to get in them, especially with interest rates going going up. The big banks love higher interest rates. But after tech earnings a couple weeks ago, every hedge fund and their mother more or less got short tech. So this is why we had that tech wreck 5.0 or whatever you want to call it. I think we've had like 4 or 5. Every one of these, what happened? Tech hammered, tech hammered, tech hammered, tech hammered. Oh, 4.0, sorry. So every tech wreck has been a buying opportunity, okay? Every one of these near-death experiences, we've bounced off the 50. That was a little through it. But this was, everybody remember what happened in February? This was the GameStop Wall Street Reddits or bets or whatever. That was the revolution of the retail trader, right? The unwashed masses storming the gates. And then that ended. So big opportunity right now in tech. All right, so let's move. What else do I have to talk about? Oh, this is very bullish. Companies are flush with cash and ready to pad shareholder pockets. That's great news, folks. With all the money that companies are sitting on right now, what can they do? They can buy back their own shares. When in doubt, buy back your own shares, right? When interest rates are low and money's cheap, why don't you just buy back your own shares, right? All right, so I want to cover that real quick. We're not going to talk crypto today. Maybe we'll do that the other day. What else we got going on? Oh, I thought this was funny. Millionaires who favor raising taxes on the rich launch protests in front of Jeff Bezos' home on April 15th on tax day. That was funny. Let's get back to the banks, though. All right, so Irina, I don't know if you left or if you're still here. Quick strategic brief, operational brief. Now we get tactical, folks. This is how you have to trade, SOT. I've been doing this for 30 years. If you wake up and you just come in here and go, where are the trades? You're a tactical trader and you're probably miserable. Not me. If you do SOT, you know what's going on around the globe. You know what's going on operationally, and now you can be a hell of a lot more confident in the tactics, the options tactics that you employ. If you are just a tactical trader, you could put on a trade and then by Friday, war in the Middle East, holy crap, why is my bull put spread on Microsoft imploding? Oh, the entire market's imploding because I didn't know what was going on in the world. Now let's get tactical. I got to tell you that good for you, Irina. Look at that. We have a convert. Let me show everybody what she just said because that's awesome. I am still here. I definitely don't know how to scan the news efficiently. I can definitely learn from you. That's exactly right. So, guys, I'm going to teach you in the full throttle training what my intelligence sources are. I'm going to steal that as a comment. I'll show you what my daily kind of routine is and how I do my intelligence gathering. Because I'm telling you, after 30 years of doing this, I have a pretty good process and methodology. So good for you. Maria, how do you know what the news good question. How do you know what news you're reading is accurate? Well, the Wall Street Journal has been around for like what, a century, and it's the most probably one of the most reputable news sources on the planet. Every day when I got onto the Metra, the train in Chicago, I lived in Naperville, Napertucky, and I rode the 32-minute express train into Union Station, and I walked to the Board of Trade. That 8:32 express train, when I got on it for the first time, I didn't see a human face. All I saw was the Wall Street Journal. I'm not kidding, man. Just about every person on that train had their face buried in the Wall Street Journal. So I am also a man, based on my military experience and business experience and trading experience, that knows to red team what I think. What does that mean? I become the enemy. At Top Gun, folks, I was the enemy. I was the bad guy. So I don't sit here and take everything that I read at face value. If it seems a little whatever, I go try and get it validated or second source it. Okay. But these aren't fringe news sources, folks. I don't watch CNN or MSNBC, if that's what you're getting at. Rick, Wall Street Journal has a $4 per month new subscription for the first year. Folks, you're a fool if you do not read. I was going to save this for the full throttle training, but ladies and gentlemen, I still go out in the driveway with my cup of coffee and my bunny slippers, sit by the pool with my coffee and my Sharpie. I still am a paper guy, but it's when you see and when you get the electronic version of the Wall Street Journal, you get alerts. The Wall Street Journal, ladies and gentlemen, moves markets. It absolutely moves markets. Oh, cool. A couple people bought the book. John Fitzpatrick, Smithtown, New York. John, if you want the book made out to you, let me know in the chat box, or if you want to make it out to somebody else. Oh, a couple other people as well. Very cool. All right, so let's move. I got to get going. I will cover all of this, guys, in the full throttle training. Let me stay tactical to my brief. So for all the new folks, you're kind of getting to watch. Oh, and that's an even better idea. That's an even better. Gary, I don't wear a robe. Come on, man. In our investment clubs, which you'll learn about someday. I mean, this is the Max Afterburner. We have 133 members. This is essentially its own little hedge fund over here, guys. We have we have attorneys, doctors, airline pilots, fighter pilots, defense contractors, business owners, full-time traders. We have a guy who runs a $1.2 billion portfolio in this group. So it's good. Okay, John. All right, let's get back and stay on track here. Tactical. U.S. bank stocks shine as investors bet on economic recovery. So the last earnings period, let's actually just bring up a chart of what's Amazon doing. So Amazon's going to have a battle for 3,300 here. So yesterday we put on where's our bull put spread? Where's the bull put spread? We put on this bull put spread yesterday. Look at this trade right here, guys. This is a bull put spread we put on yesterday in our solo Amazon service. It's up $3,800, 60% in a day. That Amazon trade right there just paid for an annual membership into Full Throttle. I'm going to hang on to that for a little bit. If you're in solo Amazon, what's Mara doing? All right, good. Mara's hanging around 23. But here we go. Let's take a look at JP Morgan. 3-month chart. Let's take a look at Goldman Sachs, and let's take a look at Morgan Stanley. These are my gold, silver, and medalist and bronze. Let's go out a little bit more. Goldman Sachs is, you know what? Maybe we'll trade Goldman Sachs today. I was looking at JP Morgan, but I think Goldman Sachs is kind of back. Let me go Goldman Sachs, and then let's compare JP Morgan. Let's add that one down here, JP Morgan. So there's JP Morgan, there's Goldman Sachs, and there's Morgan Stanley. Not a big, you see, it's kind of hidden up here. That says E, that's kind of earnings. So that was Goldman Sachs earnings. We had a massive run up into earnings and then kind of some profit taking. Okay. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan had blowout numbers. Okay. One of the main reasons for their blowout numbers was this: their fixed income currency and commodity trading division. So I call these the blue blood banks, right? This is your old Wall Street. Even though Goldman Sachs just bought half of Palm Beach and is moving down here, Wall Street's done. The mayor of New York City, who's an idiot, the governor of New York, who's a murderer and a sexual harasser, destroyed the trade Wall Street. They're down in Palm Beach, guys. I have a ton of buddies moving to Palm Beach and Miami. JP Morgan just bought 2 floors in a building that I just bought a place. They destroyed Wall Street. I mean, it's kind of over with the COVID scandemic. But anyway, the fixed income, currency, and commodities division is just printing money. So with the reopening going on, and I hate using that term. We've been open down here in Florida, but look at this. Some $32 billion has flowed into broad financial stocks in 2021, already a full year record, and it's May 18th, right? Everyone is clamoring for a piece of U.S. banks. Investors eager to get exposure are pouring into bank stocks like never before. It sounds like Donald Trump. Pouring into bank stocks like never before. Believe me, huge into bank stocks. Just ask anyone. They've been sleeping for a while, right? Because what's been going on? The reopening trade, MGM, American Airlines, Carnival Cruise Lines. Ditch all of that stuff, folks. Those had it's over with for the quote reopening trade. And now those stocks are going to start settling in. Your Carnivals, your airlines, your whatevers. Reality's going to forget any of those names. This is where we're going, at least in the primary live trade brief portfolio. And they're sitting on a ton of cash, right? Remember that these guys also make a ton more of cash when interest rates start going up. Right now, I mean, I refinanced my home like a month ago, and money's pretty damn cheap. I don't want Joe Biden to be Jimmy Carter 2.0. Everybody, I remember, I was a kid, but my parents, the interest rates were 18, 20%. Could you imagine a 20% mortgage, folks? But anyway, the banks love this stuff, and they're issuing more debt. They're buying back their shares. These are on fire. Even with the strong performance, big bank bulls believe the market could keep climbing. They've been underperforming, like I said, because everybody, remember, the market, it's a market of stocks, right? It's just not the market. There's individual names. So it's kind of been like nomadic recently. The crowd went into tech before earnings, massive run up in Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon. By the rumor, they sold the news. Then they kind of went over to here. Now they're going into financials, and I like this. So, and they're cheap. They're priced to earn. They are still pretty much as cheap as they have ever been relative to the market, the price to earnings ratio. The market is still trying to figure out how it wants to feel about the banks. Okay, so let's take a look at Goldman Sachs over here. Let's get bullish on Goldman Sachs. So there's the run up in earnings. It was blowout earnings, but again, I think I said it 9 times so far, but I'm saying it more for me than for you. Buy the rumor, sell the news, and then buy. That's what's going on with Amazon. Buy the rumor, sold the news. Now, math matters. I say that often because, and I jokingly call earnings a smack in the face. Not that I get smacked in the face often, maybe, but you kind of stand there. So earnings are kind of a shock. It's that smack in the face where everybody kind of goes, all right, what just happened? Sell it off like, Al, let me rub my cheek for a little bit. And then, well, that wasn't so bad. Earnings were phenomenal. Get back into the name. We print money doing this, guys. This is what happens. This is what you do. After 30 years of seeing these type of cycles, I pass it on to you guys. So let's get bullish. What's the 50-day moving average down here? The 50 days down here at 342. It looks like this 350 has some nice love here. It went through 350 with airspeed, chopped around it for a couple days, and then bounced off of it. I like that. I like 350. Let's see if we can do a bull put spread on Goldman Sachs. Now, maybe tomorrow in accelerated retirement, we can talk about doing a long-term bullish trade on the financials. Using options, ladies and gentlemen, we can hop in our jet and fly all the way out into the future and be bullish on a company like Goldman Sachs all the way out to January of 2023, man. Isn't that great? But let's go tactical. Let's stay tactical on JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and go out a month. The regular June monthly expiration. So I saw somebody write to support yesterday. Remember, don't write support with trading questions. They can't answer trading questions. Post those in the Ready Room, our online forum, and I can answer them there, because I don't like responding to individual emails, because that can be construed as individual investment advice, and I don't do that. You post it in the Ready Room, I can answer, and everybody can see it. So, because the question that was asked was like, hey, what date was the June 21 trade? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, at least on the Etrade platform, whenever you see a month and a year, a month and a year, a month and a year, that is the regular monthly expiration. The regular monthly expiration is when? The third Friday of every month. So when you see June 21, it's actually June 18th. It's the 1, 2, 3. It's the third Friday in June. When you see on the options chain a month, a day, and a year, these are called weekly options. These expire every Friday. So monthly expirations, weekly expirations. Does that make sense? And again, I'll teach you all of this stuff if you're new to options in our full throttle training. Okay. Exactly, Jeff. All right. So, yeah, somebody just asked. I use E-Trade, guys. If you want to open a paper trading account with E-Trade, or just open a real etrade.com/topgun. Let me give you this link so you can get our pricing. So here you go. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat box right here. It's easy to remember, etrade.com/topgun. If you open an account here, they'll give you $100,000 in paper trading. We covered this last night. Do not jump into the market and start firing trades with real capital if you don't know what you're doing. Paper trade for a couple weeks, a month, however long, until you feel comfortable getting ready to deploy actual capital. That's why the paper trading is such a fantastic idea. All right, so Goldman Sachs, if we go out to the June 21st expiration, I said that I liked what? 350, right? Russ, we'll get to the XDiv in a second here. It's usually not a big deal. Technically, using the math, the stock's supposed to go down, whatever, by the dividend math. I almost have never seen that. I think I learned that in investment school day one, and it never happened, or doesn't happen. But anyway, 350. I said that I liked 350, right, as a potential support level. So last night, I gave you the one-page trade plan. You should have printed it out, and it's sitting next to your computer. Step one of our trade plan is, what is your strategic mindset? Mine, I'm going to give you right now, is CB, cautiously bullish. Step one, strategic mindset. I am cautiously bullish. Step two is where we identify the target. The target that I want to trade is Goldman Sachs. Step three, commit criteria. The commit criteria are those 3 to 5 sentences as to why you're committing capital to get into a trade. I more or less just kind of gave it to you as I rambled through all this stuff, but essentially write down those 3 to 5 sentences. After tech earnings, now that we're kind of out of earnings period, money is going to flow to the smart names. after this tech wreck is over with, and it already looks like it more or less is with Amazon and everybody getting back on their feet, people are going to, well, they already are running back into the financials. Okay. So 350 at support. The financials are starting to shine. And I think in the next month, Goldman Sachs is definitely going to be at least above 350. Something along those lines is your step 3, your commit criteria. Step 4 is select the tactic, right? Well, I'm bullish on Goldman Sachs out a month from now. So there's a couple tactics we could choose. The tactic I'm going to choose is called a bull put spread. I'm bullish on Goldman Sachs. I'm going to use puts, and this trade will be a spread. Bull put spread. Look at that. There's 350. Resistance, 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 bounce, big bounce of support here. Okay. So the tactic I'll teach you in full throttle training, called a bull put spread, involves essentially putting a floor, a basement, underneath the stock by selling some puts, right? Remember last night in our really brief intro to options, I said buying a put is bearish, right? You buy a put for protection. I think Goldman Sachs is going to implode. Well, you'd buy some puts. So you ready for this? Let's roll inverted in our airplane and do the exact opposite. If buying a put is bearish, then selling a put is, fill in the blank, bullish. So if we sell a put, if we sell that 350 strike put, we're saying, hey, Goldman Sachs, yeah, what's up, Wiz? I don't think you're going to be below 350 by the third Friday in June. Okay, great. Well, guess what? You can't, you bet, Janice, you can't sell. This would be called what is termed a naked put. Being naked is usually fun. It is in an options world, right? If you tried to sell the put right now, what would be your max potential loss? You ready for this? All right, 505. You ready for this? $138,000. Why? Because we don't have another leg underneath it to potentially protect us if Goldman Sachs does decide to go down. So how can we fix that? Well, Wiz, it sounds like we have to add a lower strike put. Why don't we sell the 345? So if Goldman Sachs does decide to implode, we have some protection underneath. Good call. So instead of risking $138,000, now what are we risking? $1,600. Isn't this awesome? On your screen right now is a tactic called a bull put spread. Ken, let me answer the paper trading stuff at the end there. But yeah, good. All right, so as I briefed you last night, I trade a larger portfolio. This one's got like $750,000 in it. So I trade a little bit higher strike stuff. Let me find which account's got some money in it here. That one, I think over here in 1760. Yeah, this one has some money in it. Okay, good. 1760 or 1758. 1760. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna maybe I can do 25 of these. Whoops, 25. See what my risk is. That's a little much. 15. I'll talk through the trade in a second here. Just stay with me. It's still a little much. You bet it. One contract is equivalent to 100 shares of stock. Let me do 10. I'm a round number guy. It doesn't compute. All right. So here we go. So we selected the tactic. That was step 4 of our trade plan. Now we're at step 5 of our trade plan is tactical employment. How do we employ this tactic? So here we go. I'm going to sell 10 of the June, that's the June 18th, the regular June expiration 350 put. As a reminder, that's me saying that I don't think Goldman Sachs is below 350 by the third Friday in June. What if I'm wrong? Goldman Sachs just falls out of bed and implodes. Well, we're going to buy 10 of the same expiration 345 puts. That protects our downside in case it implodes. We are long, essentially, the puts if it starts imploding, right? This, ladies and gentlemen, is called a bull put spread. I'm bullish on Goldman Sachs. I'm using puts, and the strikes are spread apart. Bull put spread. It's also called a credit spread, right? You're getting paid to do this trade. Okay. Why? Yeah, the Etrade platform's hiccuping here. There we go. Let me get my quantity assistant right. And I'm in 1760. Yeah. Let me get rid of all these other accounts. Yeah. I need to plus this up. There we go. Now I can do the 25 I was talking about. Folks, so I have, let me just rebuild this trade here. I have portfolio margining at Etrade. For larger accounts, I have like pretty serious ability to margin up here. So let me just make sure I'm in the right account. There we go. Finally. Jeez. All right. I'm going to do 25. Sell 25 of the 350s, buy the 345s. At what price, Wiz? Well, guess what? If you come in at the bid, hey, this is how much I'm going to pay for your house. Well, what are you, nuts? It's this much. So there's an ask, what somebody's willing to sell their house for, and there's the bid, how much you're willing to pay. Well, guess what? You got to potentially meet in the middle, guys, which is what's called mid-market. So in these trade briefs, I'll say, hey, I'm going to try and get filled on this trade at mid-market, and then I'll say plus or minus fill in the blank, meaning, all right, for today, I'm going to try and get filled at $1.05 plus or minus 5 cents, meaning the most I'd pay for this trade is $1.10, and the lowest I'd go is $1, kind of in this range here for the day. Okay. Again, this is called a bull put spread, but it's also called what? A credit spread. I'm getting paid $2,600 to do this trade. I'm bringing that in. Now, right now, I'm also going to take a screenshot of this trade. Why? Because in a couple minutes, I'm going to show you what happens. I send out a text alert and an email alert to the membership in case they're not here. You could be sitting at 80% of Top Gun Options members work. They can't attend the live trade briefs live, and they get a text and email alert, right? Okay, so let's talk about the bad, okay? I'm an options trader. I'm a fighter pilot. I always plan for the worst, so when it doesn't happen, I'm pleasantly surprised. I am bringing in a credit, let's just say $1.05. I want that $1.05. I want it in my pocket. I want essentially this trade, quote unquote, to go to zero. I want the full $1.05. Not really, but I'll explain that in a second. So if for some reason Goldman Sachs starts kind of going down a little bit, this price will increase. And unlike golf, a higher score ain't good. If this credit starts going up, that means Goldman Sachs is going down. I'm an aviator. I'm an options trader. I'm a caveman. I need just simple rules. Let me give you one of my SOPs for exiting a credit spread for minimum loss. You ready for basic political science math? All right, now it's $1. Now it'll be really easy. I simply double the credit that I'm taking in. If I take in $1, I double it to $2. If Goldman Sachs starts imploding and this spread increases to $2 from $1, that's not good. If this happens, ladies and gentlemen, This is my potential eject point, meaning I'm out of the trade. Do I prematurely eject? No, not often. What did I tell you last night in our trade plan discussion? If a trade gets to your potential eject point, go back to your trade plan and read your commit criteria. Those 3 to 5 sentences as to why you got in it. You see your own handwriting and you go, well, a couple weeks ago, I got into it for A, B, and C reason. And actually, C isn't even close to being true anymore. Eject. No emotion involved. You wrote it down. You wrote down the reasons why you were in it. Had they changed? Yes, eject. Had they not changed? Now it's time to be the pilot in command. You know what, Wiz? I'm at my eject point, but I still believe those things and they haven't changed. Don't eject. How many times have you prematurely ejected only to find out on expiration day, Goldman Sachs is back above 350? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're the type of trade, I will tell you right now, there's a distinct possibility in the next month we get another dip or whatever. If you're the type of trader who can't stand seeing red, if you expect to place a trade and it be green and showing a profit the entire time, you're going to be miserable. Don't do this. Put your money in a Folgers can and bury it in the yard. I am old enough to remember a Folgers can. You have got to be able to stay disciplined, right? Okay, so that's the bad. Look, folks, we haven't even placed this trade yet, and we've covered when we're going to get out of it for potential loss. Now let's talk about the good. When would I get out of it for potential profit? This is easy. 7, 8, 9. What's that mean? If I'm looking at a 70, 80, or 90% profit on that credit that I'm taking in, the $2,600, close it. Pigs get slaughtered. Ladies and gentlemen, I am living proof of back in the day, I was that guy. Hey, all right, man, my Goldman Sachs bull put spread is up 90%. I'm up $2,100, but I'm a pig and I want the extra $400. And then what happens? Wiz goes to play. I hate golf. I don't play golf. Wiz goes to the beach and doesn't look at his phone. Breaking news. The CFO from Goldman Sachs is on a G5 to the Caymans with all the firm's money. The stock is down 50%. Do not, ladies and gentlemen, turn a 70, 80, 90% winning trade into a 100% loser. That will make you miserable. I've done it. Don't do it. Learn from me. Everybody give me a vertical head nod. Exactly. A couple people are like, been there, done that. Exactly. So, haven't even fired the trade yet. We know when we're getting out for max profit or our profit or exiting for minimum loss. It's funny because some people, I'm about to show you a text alert, the text alert I'll send out and the email alert. And some people occasionally ask like, well, do you send out closing trade alerts? No. Why would I? This is why it's called a brief, folks. Why would I say I'm closing the trade? I just told you when I'm closing the trade. Me. Can't tell you what to do. 7, 8, 9 for profit or double the credit. Eject. Maybe. I always put maybe in the eject in the text alert. You'll see. Why? Maybe eject if it goes up to $2. You have got to read your commit criteria, not necessarily mine. If you believe mine, great, write it down, but you make it your words. Take the word puppy and make it small dog. I don't care, but you have to get on board. Do not blindly follow me. You're not learning anything. You're here to learn, not to sit there with your mouth open and get fed fish. Now, I'm going to click on this tool right here, Snapshot Analysis. Everybody see this? And I'm going to train you at Top Gun Options to look at one place and one place only. Okay, you ready? And it's max potential loss. I want you to look immediately at the unhappy face. Where? Right there. If I didn't tell you to do that, where would 99.9% of you look? Oh, whiz, I could make $2,600 in a month. Hell, that pays for a year of my membership. Exactly. Don't ever do that. Do not ever look at this. I've begged Etrade for years to swap these two. Why do you put the smiley face dude first? They should not be looking at this. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not okay with potentially losing $9,900, don't look here. Now again, I trade a larger portfolio. This max risk, guys, $9,900 is based on what? 25 contracts. You don't want to risk that much, you don't trade 25 contracts. You want to risk 20 grand, you trade 50. I'm not telling you what to do. You fly your own airplane. Let me grab a screenshot of this trade or this screen because this goes in the email alert I'm about to send out. File, save as. Goldman Sachs, what's today's date? 5/18 metric. Okay. So you have got to be your own pilot in command. You have got to look here and put a check mark here, right? You got to go, hey man, I'm okay. I mean, you might not be quote okay with this. Like, I don't want to lose 10 grand. I got it. But guess what? You have got to put a check mark here like a pilot and go, hey, I acknowledge this risk. I know this is my max potential loss and, we're good to go. Okay. So hang on one second here. Oh, hold on. Let me scroll down to this one, that, and then that, 1758. Hang on. Flopping stuff around here. All right, let me bring this order ticket back up. 1760. Okay, so there's the analysis right here. All right, why do I like, there's a ton of different ways to skin this cat, right? I could have done a bull call spread. I could have done a bunch of things, but why do I like, folks, you like being the house, right? If you've ever been to Vegas, you know that casinos don't look the way they look because they're a charity, right? The Fort Lauderdale Porsche dealer or the Ferrari dealer doesn't look the way it looks because they give away money, man. You want to be the house, right? And you absolutely want to be a car dealer because guess what car dealers get? These are called the Greeks down here, folks, right? And I'll teach you a little bit about this in your full throttle training, but look over here. Look at theta. Theta is what? It's a Greek called time decay. You've had experience with theta for most of your life. The first car you bought, as soon as you pulled out of the dealership, the car lost money. Period. Theta is what? Depreciation. Who doesn't like theta? The car buyer. Who loves theta? The car seller, the dealer. So with a credit spread, this bull put spread that we're using, we're the dealer. I want you to keep an eye on theta down there and see what happens that every day that goes by, you're in this bull put spread. You ready? You make money. Goldman Sachs doesn't have to move, folks. It can sit there, it can go down a little bit, it can go up. No matter what's going on, every day that goes by, you make money with theta, with time decay. Remember, when you sell something, you're the seller, you get time decay. We have a saying here at Top Gun Options. You ever see the term unchanged or unched? You see it on like the bottom of the ticker on CNBC, UNCHD. That means unchanged. Unchanged on the day equals time decay. That's the Greek for theta. I was a Phi Delta Theta in college. Theta, if it's unched on the day, you got time decay. I love credit spreads. Every day that goes by, you get paid. You get potential money. Okay. All right. Let me bring the trade up. Looks like people are getting filled at $1.05. Let me try and go mid-market. All or none here. Just double check I'm in the right account. Preview. And I can fire this. So I'm going to click send. And I'm going to grab this from a text alert. All right, as soon as I press fire, I actually go over to the investment clubs that I'm in, and I paste this trade. There's 2 investment clubs. And then over here, I'm going to go fire the text and email alert. All right, so people are getting filled with $1.05. I'm going to take the time just to show you this process. So if you're here for free, you're not going to get this. You're already getting enough. This is going to go to the membership. So at the same time, I send out a text and email alert. So the email is going to have the screenshots of the trade in it. The text alert is just going to have, so we're in the primary live trade brief, text alert, PLTB, new, Goldman Sachs, bull, put, spread. I just paste the trade in there, $1.07 credit. What did I say? About 5 cents, plus or minus about 5 cents. I'll try and get filled. And I'd maybe eject at double the credit. What's that, 214? So let me clean up the text alert here. I'm going to buy the 345 puts. I'm going to sell the 350 puts. Whoops, 350 puts. It's the June 18, it actually put the day in here, June 18 expiry, which is the regular June, as we covered, expiration. I'm doing 25 contracts, can't tell you what to do. What you do on your side of the computer is your own business. Spread. So I'm going to copy that text. I'm going to go over here. Now I'm going to build the email alert. These fire at the same time. This is awesome. People love this. Not too many services out there do this. And then after we get done the brief, it takes about 45 minutes for the recording to render, for me to post it on the replay page. PLTB new, Goldman Sachs, bull, put, spread. Even though you get the text alert, I paste the text alert up here. I don't know. I guess it's kind of stupid. There's the link on there to get the replay. Let me post a screenshot of the trade in here. There's Goldman Sachs right there, the trade. Let me post the analyze right there. And here we go. That looks good. So I'll get over here, I'll publish this, and then I'll blast this out to my members. And then, so we got about 15 minutes left. If that, I'll come in here and clean up questions in the chat box. So there's the flow of a typical live trade brief, folks. We get strategic, any issues around the globe we need to be worried about or keeping an eye on. Then we get operational and talk about what's going on in America, the Fed, earnings, interest rates, whatever it is. And then the second half of the brief is when we get tactical. So I'm in the primary live trade brief. SPX recovered nicely. We're just kind of hanging. Bounced off right around 41.50. All right, 532 members in the primary live trade brief. Primary live trade brief. There we go. Save. Process. So right now, 532 emails and text alerts are firing. Are we TG folks? It's funny because TGO does move the market. We can move the market. We've done that before, man. It's pretty funny. We can see it. Let me check my thread here with my mastermind group. Oh, I know that's going on. That's good stuff. All right. Okay, let me take a quick review and answer some questions. All right. Awesome, good stuff. A lot of good stuff going on. I'm very passionate about what I do, guys. I love this stuff. This is good. All right, there you go. And here's your proof, man. There you go. There's the text alert right there. That took what, 45 seconds to get the text alert. So even if you can't attend the briefs, you're getting the stuff essentially when the people that are here are getting it. So that's awesome. And the email. All right, let me answer some questions. Exactly. Sometimes we actually put unusual options activity. There's times where we've hit scanners before, man. I've got buddies emailing me like, hey, you guys doing that? Yep. The TGO can move the market, guys. It's very cool. Love it. All right, let me start cleaning up some questions here. Go back to Goldman Sachs. How we doing today? How you doing? All right. Okay. Questions. Goldman Sachs is hanging. All right, let me scroll up and read here. Do you play stop loss 50%, profit target 70% automatically so you don't have to watch it? Arena, I don't. I watch my stuff. I don't like I don't like things firing. I don't trade on autopilot. I don't. The answer is no. I don't put the profit target in or the stop loss in. You can. I mean, that's a great way if you want to fly your airplane like that. I don't. I'd rather, especially the stop loss thing. You know, people who've done that, like it hits the eject and they get out of the trade and then the thing recovers and they're all pissed. Yeah, that's too automated for me, so I don't do that. Okay. A couple more questions, then I got to run out to the airport. I'll get the replay posted, and then I'm going to run out and go flying. Folgers. $1,000 minimum balance to open an E-Trade account. Okay, I think that's what it is, guys. I think E-Trade, I think every broker now is requiring you to fund your account at least for $1,000 because they kind of do lose money if you just sit there using the quotes and the tools and everything like that. So that's kind of, they kind of don't like that. So I think it is $1,000. I appreciate that. Mark, can you also show us how to properly exit the trade when it is successful? On E-Trade, folks, it's pretty easy. Where's the Amazon bull put spread? Here's a bull put spread on Amazon, folks. Where is it? Right here. On E-Trade, so this trade's up 54% since yesterday. $3,300 I've made in a day on Amazon. Here's how I close a trade on E-Trade. You ready? Click on it, and I click close. That was pretty easy. I clicked close. I could go mid-market, and I click fire. So at least on the E-Trade platform, it's one click. Or it's 2 clicks. You click close, the price you want, and then you fire it. So I don't know who you're trading with, but that's how I close the trade on E-Trade. So in the paper trading account, let me go to E-Trade real quick. This is how I get to it on my platform. So right here. So this is my account, a couple of my accounts. You just scroll over to here where it says Launchpad. This is like the regular E-Trade where your money is, and then you click on paper trading and you click launch. So this account is a paper trading account. Like I said, it gives you like it gives you 100 grand. Right? Yeah. So it gives you 100. I'm long some Amazon in here from one of our solo Amazon training sessions. Mark, okay, thanks. I was confused since I already collected the money on selling the option. Yeah, exactly. John, how do we unlock Etrade power trading screen like yours? Followed your link and have a different screen. I'm not, guys. I don't work for Etrade. I just showed you what I do. I log into my Etrade, and over here on your Launchpad, you got power trade and paper trading. I don't use any of. I don't. You can get Bloomberg TV if you want. I don't even know what. I think Etrade Pro is. I don't know what this stuff is. These are the only two things I use right here. So if you're having a problem with whatever, I'd recommend you give them a call. I'm not here to, just give them a call. So, no. So the email and the text alert went to my members. So the text alerts are cheap. So instead of sending, I think we have like 2,000 people registered for Full Throttle. I'm not sending a text alert out to 2,000 people. So, and then I did that before, like to demonstrate, and like a bunch of people complained that it was spam. And then that got me into trouble. So no, that just went out to my membership. Sorry. Okay. Oh, is it Kathy? $2,000 minimum to have real-time quotes. Okay. On E-Trade. That makes sense. All right, good stuff. John, I'll get you your book. Quick reminder, if you want an autographed copy of my book, go to here, and I'll sign it today. John, I'll drop yours in the mail today, man, and get it on the way. On the way to the airport, I'll drop it in the mail for you. So there's the link to buy one of our books. Again, I don't open up the doors yet. Tomorrow we'll open up the door to 50 slots. Only 50, guys. We initially just opened the doors to annual members. Why? To be brutally honest, because those people are motivated. They've made the decision kind of to take control of their financial future. If we don't fill all 50 annual memberships, I'll open up whatever's left to monthly folks. But sometimes the month-to-month folks are kind of the biggest pain. To be honest with you, it's just I've been 11 years in business at TGO, man. But you can, you can kick the tires for a while. All right, John figured it out. Good. William, do you screen for option ideas? I don't know what that means. Can you rephrase that? Do you screen for option ideas? I just kind of gave us an options idea on Goldman Sachs. So not maybe if you can rephrase that, because I'm a little Forrest Gumpish. Yeah, I'll show you. So here it is right here. So I showed you on my phone the text alert that I just got. Here's the email. So if you're not in the live trade brief, you just got a text alert and you got this email. PLTB, new Goldman Sachs bull put spread. I showed you the text. I just copy and paste in here, and then now you got the screenshots of the trade. Not too many people out there doing this, guys. This is good stuff. I kind of built this for me, folks. I mean, we build cool stuff here at TGO, and if you like it, great. Oh yeah. I get it, William. How do you screen for ideas? William, do me a favor. You got to watch the replay from last night. So it's called FMT, Find, Manage, Target. And the way we find trades is essentially through our SOT, Strategic, Operational, and Tactical. I don't trade outside of a core group of names, ladies and gentlemen. People crack me up, man. They got like 15 positions in their account. I do this for a living, and I trade about 4 to 5 names. I don't sit here and watch CNBC or Fox Business or Bloomberg and listen to some dude and go, oh, okay, I'm going to try and get into this, what they're talking about. Nope. I'm a card counter, guys. I walk up to the table and I drink and I stand behind the table and I get a feel for the deck, man. You don't walk up, sit down and put money and chips up. It's awful. It's stupid. You're going to lose money. I trade a core group of names. But my favorite group of names to target is MA. I say, when in doubt, run to MA. What's MA? MAA. Microsoft, run to MA when in doubt. We trade the hell out of Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple. It's just, it's where the money, what was that bank robber in the 20s when he finally got arrested? Whatever his name was. Why'd you rob banks? That's where the money is. So, um, has your second book been published, Rick? No, it's going through editing right now, and we're about a month out from it. It's been going there. Jay, I'm so glad to get this advice. There are so many crap stocks out there. Yes, I do not trade crap stocks. Arena, I would like to join to try it. Do you do every day live stream? Could you please show the real profits? And yeah, so Arena, let's do this tomorrow. I don't want to sell anything today. I want to do. You get access to my Willie Sutton. Thank you. I don't. We ain't selling anything right now. Let's wait until tomorrow. Because I'm not one of those guys. Let me show you everything first, and then you can join tomorrow. Okay. So, Catherine, just FYI, I was a monthly sign-on, then the annual max afterburner. I loved all my times with Wiz. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, not to disparage our monthly membership. I'm just saying that yeah, you can become a monthly member if we have some monthly slots left over, and then of course you can always upgrade to annual. All right, guys. A couple more questions, and I got to go. I want to get the replay posted and the trades on the trade. Maria, really good training. Resonate with your style. Thank you. Awesome, Maria. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. William, do you ever buy calls or puts? William, I absolutely do. There's been a couple times. One of the biggest time that I bought puts is when all the way down. We were in live trade briefs when we bought with both hands, puts on the S&P 500. We had $50,000, $75,000 trades sometimes as the market imploded on the way down in the COVID crash. But to be honest with you, I don't like being just a straight call or put buyer, right? Especially a straight call buyer. Just buying calls on something is a little bit of a lottery ticket. I'd rather do a spread. I'm cheap, man. If I'm going to buy something, I'd rather have somebody else help pay for it. So that's why I like doing spreads. But the long answer to your short question is yes, I do buy calls and puts. It depends, right? Remember, if all you got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So I'm going to teach you the tactics in our full throttle training that the 5-6 common tactics that I use. Anything other than that, I mean, the options pocket checklist, the OPCL that I gave you for free, I think has 32 tactics in there, or 31. But I do about 4 or 5 of them. I mean, you can get creative with all sorts of stuff that you don't need to. It's not needed. I can show you how to shoot down MIGs and make profits with a handful of tactics. This doesn't need to be cosmic. Thank you, Randy. I'm going to grab that one too. You bet. Have a great day. I appreciate that, Randy. Oh, and I'm glad to hear that. So there you go, Randy. Wiz of the Best converted a monthly subscription over to Max Afterburner. That's one of our investment clubs. He came in this month, so Randy's happy over there. I love the investment clubs. We'll talk about that down the road. All right, guys, I got to get going. I'm going to post so this is guys, I'd rather get my teeth drilled than sit here all day and trade. I trade 3 hours a week, and it's mainly in these live trade briefs. I do trade outside of the live trade briefs in my own personal account, but as far as this isn't time consuming, man. If you have solid commit criteria for each trade that you make, what are you worried about? Why do you got to sit here? Go meditate, man. Get outside. Go live life. That's what we need to do. Oh, you didn't download the OPCL? It was on the thank you page when you registered, but it's also at the bottom of this page. This is the replay page. Scroll all the way down to the bottom of this page. Right there. There's the trade plan, and here's the OPCL. Let me put this link in the chat box. Just click download at the bottom of this page. So go look in the chat box right now and click download. You can get this trade plan, and you can get the OPCL. I appreciate that. You are right. Rebecca more or less is saying you give more. Trust me, every time I do a full throttle, my marketing team says the same thing. They're like, dude, you give away way too much stuff. You need to not do that. I'm like, first of all, the answer is no. I'm not going to change what I do. If you're going to learn to fly with me, you're coming to the hangar and you're going to hang out. You're going to watch me fly. You're going to get to know me, and then decide if you want to. I'm not going to give you a brief like in a room somewhere and say, trust me. After you join, you can come to the hangar and see how I fly. That's not how we do it. So this is a lot of good free stuff coming out here. 3 hours a week trading, 80 hours a week providing quality intel. I appreciate that. You're welcome, Benoit. All right, guys, I got to go. 11:30, right on the dot. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow. 2 briefs. Tomorrow's the last day of Full Throttle. We have accelerated retirement at high noon. And then tomorrow night at 8, I'm going to give you kind of a sample Full Throttle training, okay? Good stuff. I'll get the replay posted on the replay page, which I just had up. Sorry, shortly. It'll be up at the up at the top of the page. Okay, I'm good. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge and God bless. Namaste. I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you.